In this video, we are going to talk about the logical operators in Python. So there are three logical operators in Python. There are not, and or. So what these logical operators allow you to do is to take simple Boolean expressions like the ones that we talked about with the relational operators and combine them together to make more complicated Boolean expressions. Okay, so in Python, just use the words not, and or. And here is an example of a compound Boolean expression. I have a simple Boolean expression here. 7 is greater than 2. Okay, that would be a true statement just by itself. And 3 is double equals 5, right? That it would be a false statement. And so you can see I can join those together with an and to make a more complicated Boolean expression. All right, so how do the logical operators work? First off, the not logical operator just changes true to false and false to true. So that's an example of a unary operator. If I say not true, that results in false. If I say not false, that results in true. Okay, so that's the simplest of the three operators. The and logical operator is true if and only if both of the operands are true. So both Boolean expressions on either side of the and, right, are true, then you'll get a true. So if I have true and true, that's going to result in a true. True and false would result in a false. False and true results in a false, and false and false results in a false. So you can see that the and that's it. Those four are the only possibilities, right, as far as the truth values that you might have on either side of the and operator. And so that's really all you need to know about how that works. And you can see that the and of two Boolean expressions is almost always false, right? The only time you will get a true is if both operands on both sides of the and are true. Okay, so sort of one of the primary uses for the and operator is if you have some conditions that you want to check and you want them both to be true in order for some piece of code to execute, then you can separate those two conditions by an and that really generalizes. If you have a bunch of conditions that you want all of them to be true, right, before some part of the code executes, then you can join those together with a bunch of ands, and that code will only execute if all of those operands are true. Okay. All right, the or operator. The or operator is false if and only if both operands are false. So it's almost always true, sort of the opposite of and in that sense. So I'm going to clear this out, and then we'll look at all of the possibilities for or. So if I have true or true, so two statements that are both true on either side of the or, the result is true. If I do true or false, I'll get a true. False or true, I'll get a true. And then if I do false or false, I'll get a false. So you can see, and again, right, those are the only four possibilities really in terms of the truth values that you might have, right, for a single or statement. So you can see that the or statement almost always results in a true, right? The only situation where you're going to get false is if both operands on both sides of the or are false. Okay. And so kind of the primary use again for the or statement is if you want at least one of the statements on either side of the or to be true before some code executes, right? Then you can join those statements with an or. And likewise, if you have multiple statements that you want, and you want at least one of those statements to be true before the code executes, you could join them all with an OR before that will be, and at least one of those operands would have to be true in order for the code to execute. Okay, so that's it on this video. In the examples, we'll take a look at some uses for these logical operators.